Now, brothers and sisters, let me first give you a little bit of information which is important. How many of you heard of Reverend Al Sharpton? The Christian minister from Brooklyn, New York? You know, last year, Reverend Sharpton discovered something about his family lineage. And he found out that his name Sharpton, that he got from his great-grandfather, and his great-grandfather got his name Sharpton, not from his father, but he got his name from Alexander Sharpton. Who was Alexander Sharpton? Alexander Sharpton was the slave master of the great-grandfather, Reverend Sharpton. So we learn in slavery, black people who were enslaved, the slave master took away their name and gave them the slave master's name. But Allah says in the Quran, "Ud'uhum li'abaihim," call them by their father's name. Every human being has a right to be called by the name of their fathers. Now, I'll ask you a personal question. How many of you are married? Raise your hand. Okay, good. All right. Sisters, how many of you, don't raise your hand. How many of you are not married but plan to get married? And those of you sisters who, now you can raise your hand. Those of you who, not yet. Those of you who plan to get married, how many of you will take on the name of your husband? Raise your hand. Okay. Now let me tell you something. In Islam, when a woman marries a man, she's not obligated to take on his name. Why? Because Allah said in the Quran, call them by their father's name. If you look at Aisha, radiallahu anha, the wife of Prophet Muhammad, she never became Aisha Abdullah. Muhammad, the messenger, was called Muhammad ibn Abdullah, his father Abdullah. He will always be Muhammad ibn Abdullah, Muhammad, the son of Abdullah. Aisha will always be bint Abi Bakr. She will be the daughter of her father, Abu Bakr. She never changed her name. She was Aisha Zawjatin Nabi. She was Aisha, the wife of the Prophet, but she never changed her name. But in this Western society, when a person put their name on you, it meant ownership. Now, wait a minute. Those sisters who are married to your husbands, you got their name, it's okay. He didn't mean ownership. But really, if you study Western history, you will find out that when women married men, she became their property. And so that tradition has continued. So Allah says, call them by their father's name. And everyone is the son and daughter of their father. And that's why this illicit relationship is crazy. Some people don't even know their father. According to who? According to who? Who? According to who? Who? World Health Organization. No, that's what it's called. It's called who? Intimacy between men and women happen 100 million times a day on this earth. 100 million times a day on this earth. And it's rumored that a lot of it takes place in New York City. But that's just another issue. And as a result of that, 810,000 conceptions a day on this earth. That results in 350,000 sexually transmitted diseases a day on this earth. That results in 150,000 abortions every day on this earth. And there are a lot of men, girls, and boys who don't even know their father. So it's possible, for instance, you can be, for instance, a governor of New York, for instance. No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And let's say you just, go meet someone at the Mayflower Hotel. No, I'm just saying. No, I'm not. I'm just saying something. Right? And maybe there's some conception. And she's not going to say, Governor, guess what? No, that's a different topic. I forgot what topic I was thinking. So call them by their father's name, and every child has a right to know their daddy, have a right to know who their father is. Then if every person is called by the name of their father, how come? How come in the Quran it says Isa ibn Maryam? Isa ibn Maryam. Jesus, the son of Mary. All throughout the Quran, Jesus, the son of Mary. How come Jesus is not known by the name of his father? Because he had no father. And you will learn today there are things in the Christian theology where Muslims agree 100%. I'm going to talk about those. And then you're going to find out that there are things that the Quran mentions, that the Prophet's traditions mention, that's not even mentioned in the Bible. Miracles about Jesus that you didn't even know about, that Muslims know about. I'm going to talk about that. And then finally, we're going to talk about a few differences. Remember, tonight is not a debate. We're saying that this is the Muslims' view of Jesus. This is an Islamic view of Jesus. It's a Quranic view. It's how the Muslims view Jesus according to the Quran. It's how the Muslims view Jesus, peace and blessing be upon him, according to the traditions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him. And some of you, non-Muslims, will be amazed at what's going to come out of my mouth in the next few moments. Jesus, the son of Mary. Now let me stop here and say this. What name on this earth is the most popular name? What name? There's no debate, no argument that the most popular name on this earth is Muhammad. Right now, Muhammad is the second most populated name in all of United Kingdom. Everywhere you go, people talk about Muhammad and take on the name Muhammad. Muhammad is a beloved name of Muslims. How many of you in this audience, either your first name, your middle name, or your last name is Muhammad? Raise your hand. Look at this. Come on. Look at that. I mean, come on. I know someone who loved Muhammad so much, his name is Muhammad. Love Muhammad. You can't help it. Right? Look, they love Muhammad. And usually when you take on the name of someone, it's a badge of honor. You respect them. You love them. You honor them. Now, it is not surprising that among Muslims, there are Muslims who take on the name of Isa, Jesus, out of respect and love for Jesus. It's no different than Muslims taking on the name of Musa. How many of you know a Muslim with the name Musa? Musa means Moses. Moses is a great prophet. We love Moses. So Muslims take on the name. How many here tonight named Moses? Musa. All right. Muslims take on the name of Abraham, Ibrahim, Khalilullah, the friend of God. How many of you know Muslims with the name Abraham? Raise your hand. Look at that. How many here tonight name Abraham? All right. Sister raising her hand. Your name is Abraham? So Muslims with the name Isa, Muslims with the name Moses, Abraham, Muslims with the name Yaqub, Jacob. I know Muslims with the name Yaqub, Jacob. Everywhere you see Muslims with those names. Now, I would argue that Khadija is a very popular name among Muslim women. True? Khadija is a very popular name, the name of the Prophet's wife. Aisha is a popular name among Muslim women. True or not? I would argue that the name Miriam is as popular a name among Muslim women as any other name. Am I right? Miriam. How many here named Miriam? Ah, ha, ha. Wait a minute. Raise your hand. 1. Raise them up. 2. 3. So you see, 4, she just remembered. Now, what does that mean? It means that Muslims respect Miriam. The 19th chapter of the Quran is entitled Miriam. So there's no doubt about it. Muslims love and respect Jesus. They named their children after him. They named themselves after him. They named themselves after his righteous mother. And let me tell you what the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said about Mary. He mentioned 2 perfect women. One of them, Asiya, believe it or not, the wife of Pharaoh. Perfect woman. And the second one, Miriam, the mother of Jesus. 2 perfect women. Now, remind me to come back to what the second verse